288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. I apologize for folks checking us out on YouTube and Twitter. Had a technical problem, and now it sucks. You just missed 8 minutes with Oliver Thomas. I'm trying to get the audio right now, so maybe I can play it on the bottom half of the hour for you. Oliver Thomas, basically, when I mentioned the polls where Helena Moreno was at 47%, Oliver Thomas was at 22%, Arthur Hunter was at about 10%. That was like the first poll. Oliver Thomas had double the numbers that Arthur Hunter had, like 10, 11%. Oliver Thomas had 22%. Helena Moreno had more than double Oliver Thomas, like 45 to 47%. All of a sudden, Royce Duplessis jumps in the race. The next poll has Helena Moreno staying around 47%. Oliver Thomas goes from like 23 to 16, like loses 6, 7, 8 points. Arthur Hunter goes from 10 to 11 to like 4. It seems like Royce Duplessis didn't get a vote from Helena Moreno, but got about a third of Oliver Thomas's votes, and I'm talking in a poll, and about 6 of 10, 6, 7 of 11 that Arthur Hunter had. So then it's Arthur Hunter at 4, Royce Duplessis at 14, Oliver Thomas at 16, almost a dead heat for second, and Helena Moreno staying at 47. Then the latest poll with Arthur Hunter out the race. Oliver Thomas at like 14. Royce Duplessis at like 18. Ahead in second place, clearly in second place. And Helena Moreno staying at 47. Oliver Thomas proceeded to cite about 4 realistic examples of folks that were leading in polls in local elections that did not win. And I told him, I was like, for every one you name, I can name 50 where the polls were right. 50. So, I said they're outliers, the low percentage hits every now and then. And you're right. I mean, you can count on that low percentage, but the big percentage, it's Helena Moreno, prohibitive favorite. Then I went into like, what do your people say? Where are your poll numbers? What does Oliver Thomas's campaign say? He says he has Helena Moreno in the mid to high 30s. He's in the mid to high 20s. Royce Duplessis is behind him in third place. So Oliver Thomas's numbers, just roughly, Helena Moreno 35%, Oliver Thomas 25%, Royce Duplessis around 20%. So then I asked him, going with your polls, not down by literally 47. Oliver Thomas on most polls is down by almost 30 points to Helena Moreno. 30. According to him, it's more like 10. I'm going to kind of go with, at best, somewhere in between. And I'm going with the 30 over Oliver Thomas's 10. But at the worst, somewhere in between, it's still like 20, 25 points. I think a lot to make up. And is Oliver Thomas in second, like he says, or is he in third, like the polls say? So with all that said, I asked Oliver Thomas not once, but twice, is there any possibility you drop out of this race? First time he said, why? Why would I? And then he said some things, and I said, just a yes or no answer. Any shot you're dropping out of this race, yes or no? He said, no. I said, so come October 11th, when folks are going to the poll, you will be active, you will be running for mayor, looking to win that race. He said, most definitely. So as of right now, Oliver Thomas is definitive about it. Not going to drop out of this race. It's going to be interesting to see future polls that come out and if Oliver Thomas chooses to stay in the race or not. I think Helena Moreno, that 45, 47%, I don't see that going anywhere. Royce Duplessis would have to come up with just some groundbreaking stuff for Helena Moreno's numbers to come down. Royce Duplessis, by the way, we're expecting him to join us on the program early next week. Mayoral candidate, state senator Royce Duplessis on the neutral ground early next week. So I think as more polls come out, Royce Duplessis's numbers could grow. I don't know how Oliver Thomas grows his numbers. He mentioned like soft vote, like soft polls, like folks that aren't, locked into Helena Moreno or Oliver Thomas or Royce Duplessis, try to lure the soft folks that are pseudo committed to Oliver Thomas's camp. I just don't see how Oliver Thomas builds from what he's already got. I think it's pretty cut and dried. I think that Helena Moreno is pretty much like the low end of what she's going to get is about 45% of the vote. And if she gets some of this, I don't know, 12, it's more than 12, 15, 18% undecided, maybe as much as 20% undecided, definitely 15%. She gets just she gets a third of that. There's this 15% undecided. Oliver Thomas gets 5%, Royce Duplessis gets 5%, and Helena Moreno gets 5%. Well, like less than what they're polling at now. Helena Moreno wins in a primary. I've said from day one, it's like a 50-50 chance she wins in the primary. So I just don't see, especially as more polls come out, Oliver Thomas, I think, is going to be third in these polls. I don't think there's going to be a legitimate poll that comes out where he's in second place. And I don't know if that's going to change his mind from today, where he was skeptical of the polls, and then he had his own internal polls that show him a lot closer, like maybe 10 points behind Moreno, not 30. And has him in second place ahead of Royce Duplessis, where most polls today, I don't know of one that doesn't have Royce Duplessis clearly in second. So I don't know how Oliver Thomas builds off of what he's already got. He might get a little bit of the undecided, but I think Royce Duplessis is going to get more of it, and Helena Moreno is going to get at least some of it, if not the most of it. I think what you got right now is, like I said, a 50-50 chance that Helena Moreno wins in the primary. If she doesn't, I think it'll be Helena Moreno versus Royce Duplessis. I think it'll be Helena Moreno getting like 47% and Royce Duplessis maybe getting somewhere around 30%, and Oliver Thomas getting somewhere around 20%. And it'll be a runoff between Royce Duplessis and Helena Moreno. Like I said, 50-50. That if you're Royce Duplessis and Oliver Thomas, all you want to do is get to the runoff. And then it's a new election. And it's an entirely new election. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, I hear Oliver Thomas, and I get it. You don't want to concede. You want to try to win. He's been at it for months. He's been grinding, and things have not been going his way with these polls. And I believe in polls. Are there polls that are bad? Yeah, they're bad polls. But there are polls with a name that have a reputation, years, decades of doing it right, and being right, margin of error, always falling in it, rarely, if ever, wrong. Because a poll is science, a poll is math. There's no fooling or trickery. I mean, you can have some crazy stuff go on where maybe you don't have as many people admitting, yeah, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. And then when it's voting time, they're going to vote for Donald Trump. They just don't want to publicly acknowledge that. I think you have situations like that. Could there be some folks that, hey, I don't want the public to know I'm voting for Oliver Thomas, and then they're going to vote for him? Maybe so. Maybe so. But I believe in polls. I think the polls with a reputation over time that are accurate, they're asking the fair, objective question. There are polls that try to steer people in certain directions to get the answer they want, and they're worthless, and their reputation's not good. They end up being incorrect most of the time and are forgotten or just known as BS nonsense. But folks, pollsters, I mean, who was that we had on a few weeks ago? The statewide pollster. I forget his name already, but, legitimate, been doing it for years, asked the right questions. No, I mean, even if Oliver Thomas's numbers are right, and they're not, he's 10 points down right now. So I don't know how he makes up those 10 points to Helena Moreno, because just like Oliver Thomas, Helena Moreno, Royce Duplessis, they're trying to get more votes too. I just don't see any bombs being dropped in a good or bad way. I don't see any bomb being dropped from Helena Moreno or Royce Duplessis that makes Oliver Thomas look bad, something just terrible. I don't think any bomb's going to be dropped by Royce Duplessis or Oliver Thomas that makes Helena Moreno look bad. And I don't think Oliver Thomas or Helena Moreno are going to drop a bomb that makes Royce Duplessis look bad. And I don't see, I'm not knocking any of the three candidates, but they're pretty, textbook. I don't see a lot of visionary type stuff, because that could be, maybe a negative. Like, I've got this solid base. I've got, especially Moreno, I've got 47% doing what I do. So why change? It's like Raising Cane's. We're not going to do grilled fingers because for people that don't like fried. We're not going to have breakfast because we don't do breakfast. I mean, argue with that guy all you want. He's worth $20 billion. I think their formula works. So if people are going to stick with what they do, they're not going to change. They're not going to change if they feel their formula is working. A Thursday afternoon edition of the program. Tomorrow, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. The usual suspects. Fridays with Fletcher Mackel. Michael Heck's going to join us from Greater New Orleans Inc., hopefully with some good economic news for the region. That segment on Fridays with Michael Heck from Greater New Orleans Inc., always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant located in Elmwood. They've got a facility on the North Shore. A few hundred folks working there, about 1,400 plus working in Elmwood. They are a worldwide leader, born, bred, based out of New Orleans, an amazing company. If you go to their website, latrim.com, they have a full listing of positions available. And it's not like 2 or 3 job openings. It's dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings at latrim.com. Go to their website, Latrim, spelled Laitram, for a full listing of positions available, latrim.com.
For game-changing innovation,
Boom!
look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's Laitram.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. Boy, the hits just keep coming for Mayor LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell. This Wednesday is her arraignment at federal court. She'll be walking up those federal courthouse steps this Wednesday on Poydras Street with her attorney. We've been talking about that. Hopefully she's grounded. No more junkets. I'm shocked that she didn't take one before the arraignment when it was announced 22 days ago, the arraignment date. I figured 3+ weeks. She's going to travel somewhere around this country, around the world. There's still the weekend. In a couple of days next week, she could be on a plane right now. We'll find out about it in a little while. It's LaToya Cantrell. You never know. Old Junket Cantrell, relentless, belligerent, nonstop. The feds appear to have revoked Mayor Cantrell's ability to work with HUD. The Housing and Urban Development Secretary said the suspension is necessary after Mayor LaToya Cantrell's indictment. The letter posted by Secretary Scott Turner on X is addressed to Cantrell. It's on Twitter. The Department of Housing and Urban Development hereby notifies you of your immediate suspension from participation in procurement and no procurement transactions as a participant or principal with HUD. Pretty amazing. I have determined that your immediate suspension is necessary to protect the public interest. The information's allegations, evidence the government faces a serious and immediate risk of harm if you're permitted, to continue doing business with it. The Housing Authority of New Orleans issued their own statement. The Housing Authority of New Orleans will continue collaborating closely with the city and HUD to protect the agency and the residents we serve. We understand the Secretary Turner does not intend to penalize the city or any HUD program participants. No, just the mayor can't be involved. The mayor can't be involved. And it doesn't stop there. Ann Bro, who was instrumental in the mayor's indictment because the mayor was so brazen and did not give a crap. She basically, if you remember, she essentially was sitting on her own balcony in the quarter. And it happened to be a Pontalba apartment around the curve, right across the street. She's on a second floor balcony. The second floor balcony of Restaurant Tableau is right there. So with the street in between, 40 feet, she's sitting on her balcony. We all know the photo. Vappy and the mayor just smiling at each other. Mayor's got her hand on her cheek. She's just beaming at Vappy. Vappy's yucking it up. They're drinking wine. She snaps a photo. Is this a date? Is this police protection? What's up? Sends it to Raphael Goyeneche at the Metropolitan Crime Commission, and the wheels start rolling. No, because the mayor put herself in that position. Now Ann Bro wants the city attorney's office off Cantrell's defense. She filed a motion in federal court asking a judge to disqualify the taxpayer-funded office from representing Cantrell. Now, I like it. Her attorney argues there's a conflict. He points to 2 unsuccessful settlement offers made to all defendants and questions in his filings if Cantrell would instruct the city attorney's office to reject the offers as part of a criminal legal defense. It is the obligation of the attorneys to communicate that to their clients and for them to get a response back from their clients and to do that. It's just going to be interesting to see. I mean, Cantrell never gets a break right now. She's like, before it was just every break. And now the opposite's going down. Getting beat by the city council, judges making rulings on the trash contract. She's about to go next week and probably officially grounded. No more junkets on the city dime. Thank God. That's a huge blessing. I mean, think about it. She doesn't go out of office until January. So we are stuck with this mayor for another 5 months. In 5 months, she probably would have taken at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 junkets. We'd have to deal with that crap. Maybe more. Maybe more. The mayor right now averages about 4 out of 5 days working, like in the city, I should say. Shouldn't say working. 4 out of 5 days in the city. I mean, she's in the middle of the day having drinks at restaurants and stuff. It's crazy. She's thrown in the towel. But 1 out of 5 days in her recent history has been on a junket, not in the city of New Orleans, not in the state of Louisiana, somewhere else around the country or somewhere else around the world. That's 1 out of 5 days. So 5 months left in left in office. Less than 5, actually. 4 plus. Percentages would say about 3 weeks of that time would be spent on junkets. That's 21 days. If each junket's about 4 or 5 days, that's 4 or 5 junkets before she's done on average. No, so not having her go on 4 or 5 more junkets to some mayor's convention or, climate change conference or some other BS where she can offer absolutely zero expertise on the subject, can offer nothing of significance, nothing of value. No, we don't have to deal with that crap. We don't have to deal with Ray Nagin started this. He was the deviant that started this. He would go on a junket, and when the plane was in the air, the media relations department with the mayor's office would release a statement. today, Mayor C. Ray Nagin is heading to Jamaica for a conference. Mayor LaToya Cantrell learned from that and did the exact same thing. The one time, I forget where she was going, Vietnam or somewhere, where it was announced ahead of time, she messed up. Hey, y'all, I mean, y'all keep asking me all these questions. I'm going to Vietnam in 2 weeks, something like that. The trip was canceled because of the public outcry and the elected officials, especially on the council, freaking out. No, the folks on the council, all the public, everybody, they find out after the fact. I mean, I used to go through this scenario because it's real. Ray Nagin would be sitting there like LaToya Cantrell would be sitting there, like any of these politicians that go on junkets. They get in a room with all the people that are going on the junket with them. They talk about the destination. They talk about the dates. They talk about all the great stuff they're going to do on the taxpayer's dime. And then before everybody leaves, the last final thought is, hey, you guys, anybody doesn't want to go on this junket, this free trip, this vacation on the taxpayer's dime? Just let it be known we're going outside of this room. Anybody that leaks this story that we're going to Vietnam or Paris or whatever, there'll be a public outcry and the trip will be canceled. So this is all thought out. And that's what leads to we will not release a press release until the plane is in the air. Like literally, that's said. Do not release the press. If there's a delay on our flight, there's a delay on our flight. When the plane leaves the ground at Louis Armstrong International and is on its way, you can release that press release. And that's exactly how it went down. Sometimes these releases from the mayor's office would come out at like 6:30, 7 a.m. And the plane left at like 5:30. Already in the air, already en route. Because the mayor's smart. There would be an outcry. And the one time she screwed up and made an announcement early, it was a fulfilling prophecy for the mayor. She's like, yeah, you see, got to cancel this trip. Next time, shut up. And that's amazing. A free trip, the mayor keeps it quiet. Target going into the Lowe's, the old Lowe's in New Orleans East, the mayor has to mouth off about it. Like, did so little as mayor, so little, that anytime an inkling of something significant happened, like that's a coup. Landing a Target in New Orleans East at that Lowe's site at the old plaza would have been a coup. And it looked like it was a done deal. And then the mayor cocked off about it. Hey, y'all, we got a Target coming to Lowe's. She even said, I'm not supposed to say this because it's not official, but I'm saying it anyway. We're getting a Target at the Lowe's. Literally says that. I shouldn't be saying anything, but, and then goes ahead and says it. It's mind-blowing, like a child. And then Target gets wind of it. And my thinking is they're probably like, all right, Target in New Orleans East at this Lowe's site. We've reviewed it. We've sent our people down there. There's a lot of people in the company that say don't do it. I mean, normally, I'm just making up the numbers. We got 20 people. Normally, it's like 17, 18, 19, or all 20 saying, yes, let's go to Bloomington. Let's go to Miami. Let's go to that location outside of Vegas. Yes, yes, yes. It's, 17, 18, 19 of the 20, and I'm making up all the numbers of 20 people deciding. With this one, it might have been like 11 or 12 yes and like 8 no's, like the largest number of no's they've ever seen. So it barely got over the top. And then when they hear the mayor spouting off before anything's official, before any contractor signed, I's dotted, T's crossed, before a full agreement was reached, Target's like, geez and Pete's, this mayor's already spouting off about it. We don't have an agreement. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back. We were hesitant to be going there. We were a little skeptical. A lot of people on our team were against it. This makes it official. We are not going there. A Target at that Lowe's would do tens of millions of dollars in business. I don't know what a Target does annually. I'll Google it right now. I mean, it could be $100 million an average Target. I have no idea what they do annually. What does the average Target do in sales annually? Over 100 million. And no, I'm sorry. It's 100 billion. What does the average target location do in annual sales? Doesn't exist. 106 billion, over 20 billion of that coming in online store. I guess you'd have to divide the 106 billion in sales by all the targets. Tens of millions, over $100 million in that location.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes a magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Wow. You know, sometimes I'm like, talk radio, like there are about 20 shows nationwide, they're syndicated, that have over 1 million listeners a week in talk radio. About 20 nationwide that have over 1 million listeners a week. About at least 18, if not 19 of them are conservative angled. And I'm in talk radio, so I probably could have faked it, pretended to be a hardcore right winger, and it probably would have been a pretty damn popular show because I know how to communicate, tell stories. Doing it in that angle, I think I could have lured in that audience, but that's not me, so I'm not going to lie and fake it. And the opposite, doing like a super liberal woke show, you're not gaining any traction there. Air America was a disgrace. That was an embarrassment. That was a joke. So, I'm a registered independent at 18 years old. I remember it was time to register to vote. Democrat, Republican, other. I was like, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I like some of each party, and I dislike a lot of each party. I don't want to be associated with either one. So at 18, my entire adult life, since I could vote, nearly 4 decades, independent. It's just how it is. It's how I think. I look at both sides. I follow the facts. There's a lot of conservative ideals I like. There's a lot of liberal ideals I like. I don't like the woke. I don't like the MAGA crowd. I don't like the extreme evangelical wacky right. I don't like the loony left woke liberals. I think just the extremes, they're the squeaky wheels, they're heard. So no, I kind of fall in the middle, and I have to deal with both sides. An example of that is Sheriff Susan Hudson. The jail, they had a ransomware cyber attack. I mean, when does it stop with Susan Hudson in the jail? I mean, if Susan Hudson, forget about winning the sheriff's race. I mean, Michelle Woodfork is the prohibitive favorite. She'll probably win in the primary, the former police chief, Michelle Woodfork. But if Susan Hudson even gets like 20% of the vote, those people need to be identified and sent away. I mean, seriously, most incompetent public official maybe I've ever seen, like right up there with Mayor LaToya Cantrell. So a ransomware cyber attack at the Orleans Parish Jail. It just doesn't stop. And then the flip side on Fox News, Governor Jeff Landry, it'll be replayed all night tonight. You know, you had the alligator Alcatraz in South Florida. Boy, the MAGA crowd, DeSantis, they were foaming at the mouth over it until the Native American Indians and the environment said, you can't be building down here. The runway's like it. The airstrip's it. There's no room for buildings. There's no room for hangars. There's no room for detention centers. There's no room for a jail. It's the Everglades. It's a protected area. So that whole, Everglade Alcatraz thing, Alcatraz Everglades, whatever the little rhyming thing was, alligator Alcatraz, it's done. It's over with. It's not happening. There is no alligator Alcatraz anymore. But there is a Louisiana lockup. Yeah, Governor Jeff Landry on Fox talking about Angola. It's funny. A month ago, Jeff Landry was freaking out. Don't have enough beds in Angola. We're going to have to build new buildings. We're going to have emergency to redo, this building J, on and on and on. Not enough beds. 4 weeks later, hey, ICE is going to have a detention center for illegals here in Louisiana. We're calling it the Louisiana lockup. It's one or the other. Either you don't have enough room or you do. It can't be both. But it's fulfilling Trump's promise to keep America safe and all this. So Landry's pouncing on that. Fox News loves it. Yeah, and I got to deal with those. I got to deal with Jeff Landry and the Louisiana lockup. And then I got to deal with Sheriff Hudson and cyber attack. So I get the hardcore right and the hardcore left. No, it's funny. Every day on this program, I make friends and I make enemies. I get liberals going, God, Corey, I loved you on Monday. Why are you being such a jerk today? I get conservatives going, Corey, I loved you on Tuesday. Why are you being such a jerk today? I just try to follow the facts. That's all I do. And I think a lot of America is fading away from definitely the hardcore left and hardcore right. Those are small percentages, but almost being identified as a Republican or a Democrat. Right now, people that are registered as a Republican, people that are registered as a Democrat, and acknowledge it that I shouldn't even say registered, but acknowledge I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. Both are about equal. It's like right at 30% or right under 30%, 28, 29, 30% of Americans say they're a Republican or a conservative, and 28, 29, 30% say they're a liberal or a Democrat. 40+% of Americans don't affiliate anymore with either party. They either say they're independent, or if they're a registered Republican or Democrat, they will vote the other way. They want to see, bipartisanism. They want to see both sides working together. I honestly think a few decades from now, hopefully sooner, that folks are going to look back at these people that are in politics, the folks that are loony left woke, the folks that are, evangelical wacky right, and how they refuse to work with the other side as un-American, as like a tragic era, how it gained momentum, how it snowballed, how for a decade plus now, and hopefully it ends soon, there was no cooperation. Any Republican working with a Democrat, you're a sellout. Any Democrat working with a Republican, you're a sellout. Just this isolationism, it's terrible. It's anti-America. I mean, politics, one of the major parts of the definition of politics is compromise. It sucks. Politics aren't, it's not built for everyone. Someone that can't bend, that expects things their way or the highway, politics doesn't work well with them. But it's a compromise where each side gives a little and they can shake hands on a good deal for the citizens. It may not be ideal. It may not be the best, but it's a good deal. And both sides had to relinquish something to get the deal done. But today, you do that, you're a sellout. It's got to be all Republican or all Democrat. And if you bend to the other side, you're weak. And that's a major problem. And I think Americans are getting fed up, and I think the numbers prove it, when 40+% are like, I don't really want to be affiliated with Democrat or Republican. That's been my whole life. Hey, tomorrow, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Fired up about that as always. Fridays with Fletch. Get a little preview of Tulane and LSU and the black and gold in the Dome against Arizona. And Michael Hecht, Greater New Orleans Inc. And Blue Boy. What's up, buddy? Everybody have a great evening. I love it, buddy. Get a good dinner. Get a good night's sleep. We'll see you tomorrow, Fantasy Friday, 4 o'clock. Be here. Thanks, Blue Boy. Good boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Down, buddy.
On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM. WSLA New Orleans.
Good boy.
It's 6 p.m.